It was midnight. Lily was waiting for Elena to come back home, but there were no signs of her. She even tried calling her several times, but the latter didn't pick the call. She waited and ended up falling asleep on the sofa itself. Just when Lily's phone rang, she tightly opened her eyes while the loud thunderstorms and cold showers of rain were taking place outside. Lily looked at the caller eyed and her heart felt relief. It was none other than Elena. She immediately attended the call, but before she could speak, Elena uttered from the other side. Her tone was bold and angry. "I had told you before not to deceive me. But what to do? It's your nature. This time you will get the punishment, Officer Lily Anderson, and I will give you such a punishment that you will remember it for the rest of your life." Lily's eyes bulged out listening to Elena's words. She experienced pain in her chest, hearing her love talking to her in this way. Her eyes depressed with tears any time to flow down while she just fumbled in a weak tone. "WH. What you're talking about, Elena? I love you. I can never betray you. Not even in my dreams, please. Please trust me." Just when the call disconnected and the entrance door opened with a thud. Lily slowly looked towards the door, but because the weather was dark, she could only see a figure but couldn't understand who it was. Just when the lightning took place in the sky and she could see who it was none other than Elena. Elena was completely drenched in rain. The water was dripping down from her suit and her hair, while the latter was just staring at Lily with an undefined amount of anger. She started moving towards Lily. Lily observed her eyes being bloodshot red, while she just gulped in fear and moved back just when Elena yelled, "Don't you dare move from your spot." Her words and tone was enough to shake Lily's posture, and the latter felt weak in her legs. Elena walked up and stood in front of Lily, who looked at her with innocent, pleading eyes. I didn't do anything, Elena, trust me," Lily stammered. Elena silently pulled the pistol from the holster tucked into her belt and pressed it gently against Lily's lips. "SHHH, you won't say another word until I allow you to. Is that clear?" she said, leaning closer and locking eyes with her. Lily nodded helplessly. Elena grabbed Lily's hand and dragged her toward the stairs. Lily wanted to protest, but Elena's anger silenced her. She led her into the bedroom, slipped the pistol back into its case, then opened a drawer and took out a blindfold. With a slight tilt of her head and a commanding glance, she motioned for Lily to sit in front of the dressing table. Without arguing, Lily sat down on the stool. Elena picked up the makeup box from the table and began applying makeup to Lily's face, while Lily remained confused and silent. When she finished, Elena examined her carefully and felt satisfied. Seeing the storm of questions in Lily's eyes, Elena said calmly, "We're going out to the place where you'll be punished for what you've done. Now put on this blindfold. After that, I'll change your outfit too." "I'll wear the blindfold after you change my outfit," Lily whispered. She immediately received a deadly glare from the queen. Quickly, Lily put on the blindfold like an obedient child, while Elena smiled at her reaction. The queen then slowly removed Lily's outfit and pulled a hanger from the cupboard. A beautiful sari hung neatly on the hanger. She carefully lifted it off, making sure not to disturb its crisp ironed folds. With slow precision, she began draping the sari around Lily's. Her fingers worked skillfully, tucking and pleating the fabric with meticulous care. Every movement felt deliberate, almost ritual-like, as she arranged the sari perfectly around Lily's slender figure. Lily could feel the light brush of Elena's fingers against her skin, a touch that sent subtle shivers down her spine. The soft fabric of the sari felt like a gentle embrace, strikingly different from the strong, unyielding presence of the woman dressing her. Elena's touch carried a contrast of firmness and tenderness, authority and quiet care, as she ensured every pleat sat flawlessly in place. Once the final pleat was secured and the pallu was elegantly draped over Lily's shoulder, Elena stepped back to admire her work. The transformation was complete. Lily sat there in the beautiful sari, her grace and beauty enhanced by the careful draping, still blindfolded and still under the control of the so-called evil queen. This exquisite light pink sari radiated elegance and grace. Crafted from the finest chiffon, it draped effortlessly, creating a flowing silhouette that enhanced the wearer's natural beauty. The fabric was soft and airy, allowing ease of movement while maintaining an aura of sophistication. Delicate shimmering petals were scattered across the sari, intricately embroidered with fine silver and gold threads. These petals caught the light beautifully, creating a mesmerizing sparkle with every movement. They were more densely clustered along the borders and the pallu, adding a touch of glamour and highlighting the sari's refined craftsmanship. The pallu, gracefully draped over the shoulder, featured a stunning arrangement of the sparkling petals, forming a captivating focal point. The border of the sari was adorned with fine silver zari work, enhancing its luxurious appeal without overpowering the delicate embroidery. Paired with a matching blouse, the ensemble was perfectly coordinated. The blouse had similar embroidery along the neckline and sleeves, designed with a flattering boat neck and wrist-length sleeves, lightly embellished with shimmering petals to complement the sari. Unable to resist, Elena gently placed a kiss on Lily's forehead. Lily held her hand and softly asked, "Elena, please tell me, what has happened?" "Just a little more time, and you'll find out what is happening, Anderson. Now stand still and let me change my outfit. And don't you dare remove that blindfold from your eyes, or you'll be punished right here," Elena replied as she pulled another hanger from the cupboard. It was a layered green suit. She changed out of her clothes and carefully began dressing herself in the outfit. The suit reflected a powerful blend of sophistication and authority, perfectly embodying her regal presence. The rich, deep green fabric looked luxurious and was impeccably tailored, fitting her figure flawlessly while still allowing graceful movement. The jacket was sharply cut, with a structured silhouette that amplified her commanding aura. It featured a single-breasted design with sleek lapels and finely detailed bronze buttons that caught the light subtly. The inner lining was satin, in a slightly lighter shade of green, offering a glimpse of elegance with every movement. The shoulders were lightly padded, enhancing her authoritative presence, while the fitted waist accentuated her feminine curves. Beneath the jacket, she wore a matching green waistcoat. Its tailored fit highlighted her poised and refined stature. The waistcoat carried a delicate pattern, perhaps a subtle paisley or brocade, adding depth and sophistication. Bronze buttons mirrored those on the jacket, maintaining a cohesive and polished look. The outfit was completed with perfectly tailored trousers that elongated her legs, creating a sleek and commanding silhouette. The trousers featured a high waist and a slight taper, adding a modern touch to the classic three-piece suit. The rich fabric flowed smoothly, offering both comfort and style. Her accessories were minimal yet striking. Elegant stiletto heels, a statement necklace that hinted at her power and status, and a sleek watch symbolizing precision and control. In the green three-piece suit, the Mafia queen looked every bit the elegant and formidable leader, commanding attention and respect with her impeccable style and undeniable presence. After applying a touch of makeup, she held Lily's hand, gently brushing her fingers against hers, and whispered, "Are you ready for your punishment?" Lily simply nodded. Karishma carefully guided her toward the lift. They ascended to the very top of the Redden building, where a helipad had been constructed. A helicopter stood waiting there, along with its pilot, ready for the couple. Elena carefully helped Lily settle into the back seat of the helicopter, then walked around and sat beside her. She gently placed the noise-canceling headphones over Lily's ears so the loud sound wouldn't trouble her, and held her right hand in her own. Using her free left hand, Lily reached out and touched Elena's ear, checking something. Elena shivered at the sudden contact and looked at her in surprise. "Ah, what are you doing?" Elena asked, startled. "I'm checking whether you've worn your earplugs or not. And you haven't. Now hurry up and wear them," Lily replied firmly. Elena impatiently shook her head. "I think you're forgetting who I am. I'm the Mafia queen, babe-a-doll. I'm used to unpleasant, loud noises. Don't worry about me." Yeah, why would I worry about you, right? After all, who am I? Not your girlfriend or anything. I'm just time pass for you, right? I still haven't forgotten that not getting married statement of yours. Now are you wearing those earplugs, or do you want me to jump from this flying helicopter?" Lily said with a mix of anger and sarcasm. Elena lightly banged her head against the window and muttered under her breath. Instead of blindfolding her eyes, I should have tied her mouth. Such a chatterbox. I heard that, Lily replied immediately. Ain Vivev, Elena mocked her tone playfully and without creating more drama, finally wore the earplugs. Fine, I've worn your earplugs. Can we go now? Yes, of course. Who's stopping you? Lily answered bluntly. Elena rolled her eyes and mumbled. Feels like I'm the one being punished here. Did you say something? Lily asked, raising her eyebrows. And no, nothing. Pilot, take us to the commanded location, Elena said quickly, changing the topic. She leaned back comfortably against the seat, letting the air brush against her face as the helicopter prepared to move. As the helicopter's engines roared to life, the rotor blades, initially turning slowly, began gaining speed, slicing through the air faster and faster. Dust and loose debris scattered across the landing pad, swirling into small tornadoes under the force of the spinning blades. When the rotors reached full speed, the helicopter lifted smoothly off the ground. Its skids left the surface in a controlled ascent, rising steadily into the sky. The steady hum of the engines grew louder as it gained altitude. The landscape below gradually shrank, and the helicopter's shadow danced across the ground before becoming smaller and smaller. With powerful momentum, it began its journey toward the commanded destination. Half an hour passed. By then, Lily had grown tired of sitting still. She slowly moved her hand toward the queen and tapped lightly on her thigh, but there was no response. Huh, she murmured. Carefully, she lifted her hand toward Elena's face and realized her eyes were closed. This woman, she muttered in disappointment. Then, placing her hand back on Elena's thigh, she pinched her hard. Elena's eyes flew open as pain shot through her. Ah, she cried out. She immediately looked at her girlfriend in shock. You don't let me live peacefully, fine, I've accepted that. But now you won't even let me sleep in peace. Sleep as much as you want, but is this the place to sleep? You tell me, is this a place for sleeping? I've had this blindfold tied over my eyes for so long, and this helicopter doesn't even seem like it's going to land. I'm telling you, by the time we reach the ground, I'll probably collapse. Before Lily could finish, Elena quickly placed her hand over her mouth. SHHH, don't say things like that, she said softly, concern evident in her voice. That tone made Lily smile wholeheartedly. We're almost there, Elena assured her. Lean back properly against the seat, we'll be landing soon. Within a few minutes, the helicopter landed safely at the designated location. Elena carefully helped Lily step out, making sure she was secure as they exited the chopper. The queen made her walk nearly a mile, before stopping her at a specific spot. She stepped a few paces back and said softly yet firmly, I have loved you with nothing but honesty, Lily. Ever since you came into my life, I swear, every single moment of mine has been connected to you. And now, I'm about to give you such a punishment that with time, you'll be completely bound to me forever. You can now remove the blindfold, Lily, and accept your punishment. Confused, Lily slowly untied the blindfold and clutched the cloth in her hand. She looked ahead, but her vision was blurry at first. She could make out only a figure, shorter in height. I know Elena is short, but how has she become this short? She thought to herself. She blinked 3 times, and as her vision cleared, her eyes widened in shock. The cloth slipped from her hand and fell to the ground. There was her Elena, her love, kneeling on one knee, looking incredibly handsome, holding a violet velvet box in her hand. Lily's heartbeat quickened. Meanwhile, Elena was simply taking in every second of the moment, admiring her. The queen extended the box and said, I, Elena Armstrong, punish you to be my wife, my partner, and my better half for all eternity. She opened the velvet box, revealing a beautiful gold ring set with a sparkling diamond. Tears had already begun streaming down Lily's cheeks. Overwhelmed beyond words, she covered her eyes with her palm, struggling to express what she was feeling. Then she gently placed her hands on Elena's shoulders and helped her stand up. Elena's point of view. This is the exact scene I've been dreaming about for so long. You, my lady, my Lily, standing in front of me, and me kneeling down, confessing my love and asking for our union. The dream is finally becoming real. Damn, my heart is beating so fast, I hope it doesn't leap out of my chest. But even if it does, I wouldn't mind, because it would fall at the feet of my love, and that's exactly where it belongs, isn't it? The dream sequence used to go like this. You would help me stand on my feet, just like you did now. Then we would simply stand there, admiring each other, and then you would come closer to kiss me. Damn, let me close my eyes. Elena closed her eyes, waiting for Lily to kiss her, just the way it happened in her dreams. But instead, a loud thud echoed in the air. The evil queen felt her cheek burn with pain as her face turned to the side from the sudden impact. She opened her eyes, holding her cheek. Ouch, Elena muttered in pain. This wasn't part of my dream. She looked at Lily and asked, "Why did you hit me?" Lily stepped closer, tears in her eyes. "You're a complete idiot, Elena. Is this how someone proposes? For a moment I really thought that, just like that time, you would leave me." Before she could finish, she broke down into tears. Understanding the situation, Elena immediately pulled her into a tight embrace. Lily rested her head against Aleba's chest, while Elena wrapped her in a bone-crushing hug. After a while, when Lily felt a little better, she slowly pulled away and looked at Elena confused. "What happened, baby?" Elena asked softly. I felt something different today when you hugged me, something very hard." I'll leave it, Lily, just tell me. Do you accept my punishment?" Lily gently brushed her fingers over Elena's cheek and ear and replied, "What more beautiful punishment could there be for me than this?" Elena smiled wholeheartedly and slipped the ring onto Lily's finger. Suddenly, Lily pulled her close and pressed her lips against the queen, kissing her passionately. As always, she took the dominant lead until Elena realized something. She gently pulled back, holding Lily softly. At least let me kiss you properly," Lily whispered. "Go ahead and kiss me, baby, but in private," Elena replied softly. "In private? Who else is here?" Lily asked, confused. Elena gently held Lily by the chin and turned her face slightly to the right. As Lily's eyes fell on the people standing there, she froze. Shyness and embarrassment instantly took over her, and she quickly stepped a little away from Elena. Mama, Karina, Victor, why, you all, I didn't know," Lily stammered nervously, saying whatever came to her mind in an attempt to appear innocent. The trio simply smiled, adoring her simplicity. Anne stepped forward. Placing her hands on Lily's cheeks, she kissed her forehead lovingly. "I have seen the world, child. The very first time you came home with me, I understood that something was going on." Anne continued, her voice turning emotional. "I have seen Elena face countless challenges in life. Fate has been cruel to this innocent soul in ways that are hard to describe, yet she never lost courage. She earned everything on her own. But one thing always worried me, her happiness, her peace. She had success, but her joy felt incomplete. I always prayed to Lord to bless her with a life partner who would fill her life with the happiness she dreamed of but never truly received." She took Lily's hand and pulled her into a warm hug. "She has endured so much in her life. Lily, now I want you to give her nothing but peace and happiness," Anne whispered into her ear. As those words echoed in Lily's mind, flashes of Elena's painful past seemed to pass before her eyes like a short film. Her heart ached at the thought of everything her love had gone through. She hugged Anne tightly and replied with determination, "I promise you, Mama, I won't let even a single tear fall from her eyes from now on." The newly upgraded mother-daughter duo broke their hug. Anne gently placed Lily's hand into Elena and said warmly, "All right, my work here is done. I've seen the face of your life partner. Now quickly show me the faces of my grandchildren too." "Oh my God, Anne, at least take a break. They just got engaged, first marriage, then pros." Before Victor could finish his sentence, the queen shot him a deadly glare. Frightened, he immediately ran and hid behind Karina. Lily chuckled softly and said, "Don't worry, Anne, just as eager as you are, I'm equally eager. That's why I want you to marry me next week. She looked directly at Elena as she said it. Lily, next week. Won't that be too soon? There are so many arrangements to make, Elena replied cautiously. Lily quickly shushed her. Don't worry, everything will be managed. It's not like you have to do anything. You have a kick-ass staff, they'll handle it all. Leaning closer, she whispered teasingly, you just make the arrangements for the heavenly night. A crimson blush spread across Elena's cheeks. Understanding the situation, and sensing the couple needed some private time, Anne blessed them once more and left with Victor and Karina. As soon as they were alone, Lily hugged Elena tightly. I can't even tell you how happy I am. This feels like a dream. By the way, I don't know why, but you're feeling really strong today. Have you been doing some heavy workouts at the gym, babe? She asked playfully. Elena gently pulled away from the hug at that question and replied casually, Oh, it's nothing like that. By the way, I've planned a long drive. Come. Changing the topic smoothly, she led Lily toward her brand-new Aston Martin Vantage Roadster. She helped her settle into the passenger seat and then slid into the driver's seat herself with effortless confidence. The car's interior, a perfect blend of luxury and precision engineering, wrapped around her as she pressed the start button. The engine roared to life with a deep, throaty growl, its vibration running through the chassis and promising raw, untamed power. Her hands gripped the steering wheel, knuckles turning slightly white as adrenaline surged through her veins. With a swift movement, she shifted the car into gear, and the Aston Martin Vantage Roadster responded instantly, leaping forward with a fierce burst of speed. The tires screeched against the asphalt, leaving faint trails of burnt rubber behind. As they hit the highway, Elena pressed the accelerator to the floor. The car surged forward like a predator unleashed. The cityscape blurred past the windows, highway signs and lights melting into streaks of color. The powerful engine hummed beneath her, a perfect symphony of mechanical precision that matched her intense focus. Lily, sitting beside her, stole glances at Elena, a mixture of admiration and exhilaration in her eyes. Elena's gaze remained locked on the road, her expression a blend of determination and fierce satisfaction. The Vantage cut through traffic with pinpoint precision, weaving effortlessly between vehicles, its sleek silver form slicing through the night like a bullet. The roar of the engine and the rush of wind created a cocoon of sound around them, isolating them from the world as they raced down the highway, a dynamic duo in a car built for speed and adventure. Wow, Rabbit, I must say you're an amazing driver, Lily exclaimed, her voice full of awe. Elena glanced at her, and as the speedometer reached its limit, she looked back at her lover with a seductive smirk. I can do a lot of things, babe, she replied teasingly. The tension between them was palpable, adrenaline from the drive intertwining with their deep connection. As the Aston Martin roared down the highway, the world outside blurred into insignificance, overshadowed by the electricity between them. Elena's eyes flickered from the road to Lily's. In a moment of reckless passion, she locked her hands on the steering wheel, maintaining the car's straight path. The hum of the engine and the rush of the wind were the only sounds. Both leaned forward, eyes closing, as their lips met in a searing, passionate kiss. The intensity made time stand still, the world around them fading into nothingness. Suddenly, a deafening crash shattered their moment. The car jolted violently as a massive force struck from behind, sending them lurching forward in their seats. Elena's grip on the wheel tightened instinctively, but it was too late to prevent the impact. A huge truck had rammed into their car, its massive frame looming ominously in the rearview mirror. The Vantage skidded wildly, tires screeching in protest as Elena struggled to regain control. The sleek vehicle spun across the highway, metal grinding against metal, sparks flying. Hearts racing, Elena and Lily were yanked out of their romantic bubble, replaced by the stark reality of a desperate fight to survive. "Who is this?" Elena exclaimed, shivering from the sudden attack. Her hand slid toward the door to grab her gun, but her fingers met empty space. The weapon was gone. The duo was stranded on an unknown highway under a thundering sky, completely unarmed and without any bodyguards. Sweat drenched Elena's face. Lily noticed her distress, but before she could speak, the truck slammed into their car again from behind. Elena's heart pounded violently as the gravity of the situation hit her. Fear for Lily surged through her, raw and overwhelming. She shot a quick glance at Lily, eyes wide with concern, then turned back to the road. Her breath caught as she saw several cars approaching in a tight formation, flanking the Aston Martin Vantage Roadster from both sides. The vehicles moved with precise coordination, effectively boxing them in. Panic flashed in Elena's eyes as she fought to maintain control. The two cars pressed relentlessly against the Vantage, their combined force making it nearly impossible to keep a straight path. The once powerful and elegant machine now felt like a trapped animal, caught in a vice. The car swerved dangerously as Elena fought against the relentless pressure. The steering wheel jerked violently in her hands, and despite her best efforts, she could feel her control slipping. The coordinated assault was too powerful, the relentless force overwhelming her. Lily clung to her seat, her eyes wide with fear as the car careened out of control. The Vantage was tossed from side to side, metal groaning in protest. Elena's heart raced, fear for Lily fueling her desperation, but the combined might of the pursuing vehicles was too much. The elegant sports car spun helplessly, trapped in a deadly game. "Elena, what's happening?" Lily whispered, trembling. Elena just stared back helplessly, cursing herself for coming so far without any security. Suddenly, Elena noticed another car approaching at high speed from the opposite lane. Without thinking, she looked at Lily and threw herself over her, turning her own back to the dashboard and shielding Lily securely in her arms. The collision of the two cars was catastrophic. The defensive crash sent the Aston Martin Vantage spinning. Metal crunched, glass shattered, and for a few moments everything went black. When Lily groaned in pain and opened her eyes, blinking to clear her vision, she saw masked men surrounding them. All of them wore identical outfits, dark and black, from their suits to their shields, even their sniper rifles were black. Their faces were hidden behind black Squid Game-style masks. Two of them gripped her arms tightly, making her panic. She frantically searched for Karishma, her eyes darting around, until they landed on the ground, and her heart skipped a beat. Elena lay in the middle of the road, her face and body covered in blood. Her right leg was twisted unnaturally, and soft, pained cries escaped her lips. It was Elena. Tears welled in Lily's eyes as she tried to move toward her injured love. But the captors didn't allow her to do so. Suddenly, a sinister presence drew Lily's attention. A woman in sleek leather jacket and bossy attire stood over Elena, placing her right pencil heel crushing over Elena's blood-dripping core. She exuded an aura of power and cruelty, her eyes gliding with sadistic cruelty. She pressed down the pointed pencil heel on Elena's stomach, enough to make Elena cry in agony. "Anu 000000." Elena cried on top of her lungs as the new open wounds were again getting destroyed. Lily's heart dropped to her stomach seeing her love in this inhuman condition. She looked at the lady with anger, but the anger didn't even lasted a second seeing the evil smirk and pleasured eyes of the demonic women. The scene was a nightmare come to life, and Lily felt utterly helpless, trapped in the clothes of these ruthless attackers, while Elena lay suffering on the cold, hard ground.